What's up, guys? Welcome to this latest episode of the Mufasa Sports Club. As you already know, we appreciate you. Very grateful for all the support that you guys have been providing, all the love, all the attention that you guys have been providing to the program. Please continue to subscribe, continue to share the videos, continue to like them, share within your community, comment. Leave us your impressions on what we're doing on this program, and let's just keep on rolling. Today we are going to be talking about the Detroit Pistons and the Golden State Warriors and what the season outlook should be. We in October, well, pretty much close to October. Media Day has been done. Teams are pretty much flying or driving towards the training camp stations and starting training camp. So this is an exciting time for the NBA, and we gonna, pretty much go over what these teams should be looking like and what the expectations should be. So the Detroit Pistons, I think, coming off of a very good season last year, pretty unexpected, and their performances. I think this is a Pistons teams that I'm having some higher expectations for in this upcoming seasons, especially given the moves that were made and the players that they currently have already. Obviously, driven by the lead point guard in Cade Cunningham, with another amazing season. I think he's gonna take another leap. So I'm expecting him to be an All NBA talent again this year. So I'm really excited to see what other leap, what other jump Cade does take. I'm loving this roster because of the versatility, the defensive mindset of their head coach JB Biggerstaff, and I'm just loving the overall shape of this team, from guys like Jalen Duran to Isaiah Stewart, if he can obviously control himself. It's also Thompson. I'm loving the addition of Karis LeVert and Duncan Robinson. I think Duncan Robinson is gonna bring that shooting that they've been lacking sometimes, coming from Miami, that veteran, experienced player who could be pretty deadly from the three-point line sometimes. So I'm really loving what the Pistons have done so far. And the beauty of this team is that they just pretty much they $28 million under the first apron. They had cap at the first apron, but they $28 million under, which means, especially with the way I'm going to continue reiterating that, with the way the Eastern Conference is set up, with all those uncertainties and injuries from major players on major teams, like the Bucks, the Sixers, the Pacers, it's gonna be a wide open Eastern Conference, and Detroit definitely has a chance, if they play their card right, to go ahead and make a move for, why not, a conference finals or an NBA finals. So I wouldn't be surprised if the season is looking good, if they do decide to go ahead and add to the mix in Motor City again, in order to make an extra push and get to a deep playoff run. I really love the shape of the roster. Like I'm saying, if there's any area where I really do think they might get better, even if they already tried to do better, is obviously, like I said, the 3-point shooting. Beasley, who was a very important player for them last year, unfortunately has been dealing with all these gambling accusations and whatnot, so I'm not sure what the outcome or the future looks for him. That's really one of the areas where I think they should add on, getting some very competent 3-point shooters to give more options to Cade Cunningham. I think the return of Jaden Ivey will be very important for this team. I think I'm excited to see what he can bring on to this mix with all the young guys that they already have there. So this is a Detroit Pistons team that, again, I keep on saying that they really defensively sound, and I'm expecting them to really be within the top 5 of the Eastern Conference this season. Definitely directly making it making it to the playoffs without having to go through the plains. I know it might sound crazy, but I'm really excited to see what this team can do this season. And yeah, like I said, they have a very good financial situation, so they can definitely make a move by the trade deadline if needed be, in order to continue on improving this roster and getting better. All right, the second team that we are going to be talking about is the Golden State Warriors, one of my favorite teams after the Philadelphia 76ers, and this is just a great timing because Jonathan Kuminga was able to sign an extension, or is intending to sign an extension with the Warriors, who have been pretty active in these past 2 days, in terms of roster moves and whatnot. So the Warriors are bringing Kuminga back on a 2 years, close to $50 million. I think 48 million plus dollars. So that's a very good move for the Warriors. I think the probably, if I'm reading in the mind of Mike Dunleavy, this is a move to not only keep him until possibly the trade deadline, even though there's been some rumblings that he doesn't want to be in San Francisco, but this is a move that allows him to either one more time try to prove himself and his value, and then why not get another extension next year or the year after, depending on how things go with him and Steve Kerr, or who's gonna be the next coach. Because I do know that Joe Lacob is the owner of the part owner of the Golden State Warriors, is a huge fan of Jonathan Kuminga, and that 2 year timeline is also somewhat to see, all right, what do we still get from Steph, Draymond, and Jimmy by the end of those 2 years, so that we can now see if we can give him a big extension if he has proven himself, and then maybe give him the reins of the team afterwards. So I think it's a very fair deal for both sides. Kuminga, who's still going around $25 million a year. The Warriors, who have control of a very tradable contract in case they want to move away from him. I think Kuminga should go into the season with the mindset of just increasing his value, playing within the system, and trying as much as he can to earn more playing time and just be a good teammate for the veterans that are out there. I think the Warriors have had some quite interesting additions, and in this very crowded and challenging Western Conference, I would not count them out again. This is not me being a fan, but I just think when you have guys like Steph Curry and Jimmy Butler on the same roster, you can never count this team out. So I think that's it for Jonathan Kuminga. I'm expecting him to join the team at training camp and try to be as professional as possible and make an impact for himself. They were able to also bring back Gary Payton II, which is a good move in my opinion. Them also bringing back D'Anthony Melton, who was traded in the Dennis Schroeder trade initially because of his injury, also was able to be brought back. Hopefully he can still healthy. If he is still healthy and was able to fully recover, I think he's gonna be a great addition to this team. It's a very good guy. I've seen him not only with Memphis but also with the Sixers. He could be your primary point of attack defender on the other team guards, and also a very good three-point shooter, reliable three-point shooter with long arms. So very good in deflections, and I think him, Jerry Stackhouse, pretty much scheming the defensive end of the Warriors. He could do some wonders with guys like this. So I'm excited to see if Melton was able to obviously come back and can be at his full potential again. Al Horford is also intended to sign with the Warriors, probably to become a starter, the starting center, or coming off the bench. I'm not sure how they plan to play him, but he's adding that championship pedigree one more time to a championship experienced team. A big that can stretch the floor and shoot the three at a very high clip. Pretty still solid in terms of rebounding, not the best, but can still help you on that end of the ball, which is obviously the Warriors' Achilles heel. I think he gets you a little better, slightly better on that end. I was still trying to add some size. If I'm Mike Dunleavy, obviously they just financially very tight right now because they're barely $2 million under the second apron. So it would be hard for them to make any additional moves, but I like the move of bringing a guy like Al Horford with the philosophy of Steve Kerr and his small ball and those stupid threes that he wants to take all the time. If they do go in, it's a very dangerous team, but if it's not going at a high clip, then the rebounding becomes a glaring issue for this Warriors team. But overall, obviously you still have the babyface assassin in Wardell Steph Curry, one of the best players of all time in my opinion. Top 10 for sure for me, who is still performing at a high level. You still got Jimmy Butler, who hasn't won a chip yet, who's gonna be out for blood trying to get his first championship. Hopefully they can stay healthy. Draymond Green, who could still be a very good player also in this league, especially defensively. He was a candidate for me as far as defensive player of the year last year. I hope to not see him play a lot of 5 this year, especially with the addition of Al Horford. I hope that Steve Kerr can have a rotation of Al Horford, Trace Jackson Davis, and Quentin Post at the 5, and specifically let Draymond play the 3 or the 4. So it's gonna be interesting to see what they do in that regard. Buddy Hield, obviously one of the best shooters in the league right now. Moses Moody, who is also hopefully taking another leap on this team. He could play the 2 or the 3. I hope Steve Kerr gives him more confidence and plays him more. You gotta play these young guys some more. You gotta have a deep rotation to keep the legs of your veterans, because this is becoming a very old team between Steph, Draymond, Al Horford, who's almost 40, and Jimmy Butler. So you gotta combine this with these young legs from these young guys. I heard Steph Curry's brother, is also joining the team this season. It's gonna be interesting to see what he can bring. Obviously a generational shooter as well, pretty good shooter. The Curry brothers on the same roster. Steph definitely deserves to do whatever the heck he wants to do with the Warriors. I'm excited to see what Gui Santos can also bring in this new season. 23 years old, now in his year 3 or 4 in the league. Very interesting player who can definitely be an addition for the Warriors with the size that he presents and also the shooting. I'm hoping to see Brandon Podziemski take another leap. I think he was somewhat he took a little down year. He had a little down year last year, if you ask me, and I'm hoping for him to come back and be as productive as possible, whether it's in the starting lineup or coming off the bench. And I'm definitely intrigued in the two-way players that they drafted, whether it's Alex Tuhi or what's the other guy's name? I can't remember his name right now, but the two-way players that they were able to bring into the team as well. Will Richard, as a matter of fact, is who I'm talking about. So it's gonna be interesting, definitely, to see what the Warriors can do. I'm expecting them to make it to the playoffs, barring any injuries, and definitely will still have them in the top 6-7 contenders that this Western Conference can have. Crazy, I can easily name you 6-7 contenders in that conference. So let's see how this season begins with them, and I'll definitely be out here giving you updates on this team as well. So it's pretty much what I have for this episode, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your week. Continue to subscribe to the channel, continue to like the videos, share your impressions and opinion, and I'll see you guys at the next episode. Ciao.